Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal channel. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are willing to spend big on a new winger this summer, according to Coach of Side. Andre Bata has been in talks with Rodrigo's management and Rafael in the last 12 days as potential candidates for the position. Now, as Arsenal signed Benjamin Sesko, as Arsenal identified Benjamin Sesko as their priority striker, it is going to be imperative, it's going to be very key that we get the right winger signing this summer. If you sign Benjamin Sesko, that means that our striker options next season will be the same. Sesko may be as a difference, but you're going to have Kai Havertz and you're going to have Mikel Merino as well. Gabriel Jesus obviously will be coming back from injury, but he's that injury prone, you cannot trust him. So Arsenal are literally going to have the same striker options in terms of Havertz, Merino, and the addition of Benjamin Sesko. And for me, Benjamin Sesko is not an upgrade on Kai Havertz. He's maybe an upgrade on Mikel Merino as a substitute striker. If you're taking off Kai Havertz and you're introducing Benjamin Sesko, it's a little bit different from taking off Kai Havertz and you're introducing Mikel Merino. But for me, Sesko as an addition is not a big upgrade at Arsenal. And that leaves the winger signing as a very important position now. I mean, if we signed Victor Gyökeres or if we signed a player like Lautaro Martinez, that kind of striker is going to give you goals. That kind of striker is going to increase the creativity from the players around him. But a Benjamin Sesko is 21. He's going to need some time to adapt. He's going to need some time to develop as a player. There is no way you're telling me that Benjamin Sesko comes in and Arsenal's attack all of a sudden spring into life. So we need a player that can sign, a player that can come in and ignite the fire in this front line. And that's what Mikel Arteta has been speaking about: goals, creativity, options, and quality. I think that is what we need to be looking for when we sign our new winger. So with Havertz, Merino, and Sesko as options, for me, these are the qualities the winger we are going to be signing this summer must have, right? Number one, he must be able to score goals, and a lot of goals. And I mean it, right? If you think about Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, they had Roberto Firmino. Roberto Firmino was a 15-goal master, at times 13, at times 18. But basically, Roberto Firmino was not expected to give you 25 goals in a campaign. So what they did, they exploited the advantage of having Salah and the advantage of having Sadio Mane. Mane scored a lot of goals and created a lot. As Salah scored a lot of goals as well. Actually, until now, Salah is looked at as a legend for Liverpool because of the goals he has scored for the club ever since signing for them from Roma. Now, I think that is what Arsenal are looking at. That is the only option we are looking at, because I want us to be realistic. Are you going to get 20 goals from Mikel Merino at centre forward? No, you're not. Are you going to get 20 goals from Kai Havertz at centre forward? No, you are not. And are you going to get 25 goals or 20 goals from Benjamin Sesko at centre forward? No, you're not. So the source of goals that Arsenal are going to be looking at is Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice as that box crusher, and the new winger. And that is why, for me, players like Gittens, players like Nico Williams, they are completely off this list. You can't sign them now if you're going to go for Benjamin Sesko. You need a guy that can come in and score the amount of goals Sesko would have scored. You need a guy that is going to come in and score the amount of goals a good number 9 would have scored. Because if Arsenal signed Victor Gyökeres, if Arsenal decided to go for Victor Gyökeres, then the narrative would be, can we get a guy that can create good chances? Can we sign a winger that can create very good chances for our new number 9, for Victor Gyökeres, and maybe potentially have a number 10. But at the moment, I don't think Arsenal need a number 10. I don't think that you bring in Sesko and then you commit to signing a number 10. I think you just have to focus on getting in the right left winger, and for me, goals are gonna be key in the profile that we bring in. And I'm gonna talk names as well. Number 2, they've got to be able to create a lot of chances, and the chances they will be creating, in my opinion, they should be able to create chances for themselves. Like these, the Alexis Sanchez of this world. For me, that is what Arsenal have to look at now. That is the kind of profile that we've got to look at now. Because Alex Sanchez was this kind of player that absolutely didn't care about who else was playing or who else was playing against him. He would create chances for himself, he would create chances for others, and would score a lot of goals. And I think Arsenal have never really replaced Alex Sanchez. Saka is a good player, but Saka is stoppable. We need a player that is unstoppable, can create a lot of chances for others, can also create a lot of chances for himself. Because this Arsenal team, if you add Shesko and you add Zubimendi and you add a new winger, to be honest, you've done nothing in terms of improving our creativity. Let's say if you get Semenyo and you add him to this team, and you add Shesko and you add Zubimendi, you've absolutely done nothing in terms of improving the creativity at Arsenal. If anything, you've actually just done the same. You've just brought in new players. So the profile Arsenal go out for in terms of a left winger, chance creation must be one of their parts, in the game, that they can do it even without looking, even in their sleep. Number 3, should be able to change games on his own. Now, of course, we've got Saka for that. I think Saka has been a very, very reliable player in terms of Arsenal. He can change games for us. He does change games for us. But you can't just rely on Saka. And Mikel talked about it. You can't rely on the goals you have, and you can't rely on the numbers in terms of creativity that you have at the moment. What you've got to do right now is go out there and find a player that can do what Saka does on the left. Like, if games are locked at 0-0, locked at 1-1, that profile, that player that comes in, whether Rodrigo, whether Liao, has got to be able to come in and change a game on his own. Then, for me, the status he's got to be the superstar status, right? Because Gyökeres has got that superstar status because he's 27. He has scored a lot of goals, 95, almost 96 in 100 games. So he's got that superstar status. But when you think about Shesko, I don't want to undermine him a lot, but he doesn't have that superstar status at the moment. So it's Rice, it's Saka, and maybe Partey. Those are the players that you can say they're superstars in this Arsenal team. And in the attack, you really need that superstar status. You really need a player that can, threaten the opposition. I think we've got to think about that as well. And most of all, they've got to be clinical, right? You might not be able to score a lot of goals. You might not score 20, 30 goals in a season because maybe you don't get the chances. But you've got to be very, very clinical because the striker options we have aren't clinical. And Saka is not close enough to being clinical. Now, Saka's numbers are good. He's going to get you 17 goals, 16 goals, 14 goals. And those are very good numbers. If you look at Saka's creation and his, numbers in terms of goals, they are mind-blowing. But it's not enough. You need another player to replicate that on the other end of the pitch or in the middle. Now, in the middle, for me, it's not going to be Shesko. So we've got to get a player that is very clinical on the left-hand side. And therefore, for me, these are the only names Arsenal should be looking at as our next winger. It's okay, go for Victor Gyökeres. Go for Benjamin Shesko. These are the only names that Arsenal must be looking at as the next winger. Number 1, Rodrigo. So, leave alone this Arsenal business of we can't give Rodrigo 298,000 a week net, all this and that. You've got to forget that. The moment you decide to go for Benjamin Shesko, it means that you're willing to compensate for his deficiencies, right? You're willing to, it's like getting a centre back that can't defend. The way Arsenal had Alexander Zinchenko at left back. What Mikel Arteta had was an overworking, a hard-working Granit Xhaka on the left-hand side. And you could see that, Zinchenko wasn't as exposed as he was without the cover of Granit Xhaka. So if you sign Shesko, you've got to face reality. He's not a 30-goal striker. He's not a 30-goal machine. You've got to bring in a player that can score goals. And Rodrigo, for me, fits the profile of the player that Arsenal need. Rodrigo is crazy clinical in front of goal. I think if it comes to the Premier League, he would be like an Alexis Sanchez. He's gonna score goals for you. He's going to become a monster of a player. He's very creative. He's got that technical ability, and in terms of changing the game on his own, he can do that very well. I mean, if you're clinical and you're creative and you can play as a team, you know, a very good team player, I think Rodrigo is a very good option. Very good option. Obviously, we know the downside to the deal. It's going to be expensive, 80 million euros. And then the salary is also a little bit crazy. But it's either Arsenal sit down and realize the Benjamin Sesko mistake is going to cost you even more money, because I reckon Arsenal signed Sesko this summer, and in 2 years we are looking at another striker. That is the truth, because he either works out or he flops like Darwin Núñez. It's a huge risk. For me, Rodrigo is one of them. He's got that quality. Superstar status. He'll bring out Arsenal, raise the level at the club, and he's he's a phenomenal player. And the second on my list, we have not been linked with him this summer yet, is Kaoru Mitoma. Now, with Kaoru Mitoma, the problem I have got with him is goals. Apart from goals, he's English Premier League proven. He's 27. He's gonna cost about 40 to 45 million euros. I'm hearing. He's everything Arsenal need. A cheap deal for a Premier League proven player who is exciting. It's just the goals and the injury, the injury prone nature of his game these days. Can Arsenal sign him and maybe the injuries become better? Because remember Pedro Neto. Arsenal are crazy about Pedro Neto. And when Chelsea signed Pedro Neto, we all said, you know, he's injury prone. Arsenal don't have to worry. Pedro Neto has actually not suffered so many injuries this campaign with Chelsea. So with Kaoru Mitoma, you would sign a winger that is so different from Saka, more talented than Saka, more creative than Saka, but Saka scores more goals than Mitoma. But I would consider Mitoma at Arsenal this summer if we are not getting Victor Gyökeres. 3 is Rafa Leão. Now, when it comes to Rafa Leão, creativity tick, pace tick. I think I would question Leão in terms of numbers. Can he raise his numbers to that superstar status? Because he's a talented player. He is a very good player, but can he raise his numbers to fit the status that Arsenal really need? But I think Leão is another player that Arsenal should be looking at if you don't get Victor Gyökeres, if you don't get a really good striker. Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon is on my list for 2 things. 1, he scores goals. 2, he's wanted by Mikel Arteta. I think for me, Gordon is not a superstar, and signing him wouldn't bring this kind of superstar feeling in the transfer window. But signing Anthony Gordon would be signing an effective Sadio Mane. It would be signing an effective Robert Pires. I'm not trying to compare them. I'm trying to show you what such a signing would actually mean. He wouldn't be the overhyped player. He would cost about 70 million euros, honestly. But he wouldn't be the overhyped player, but he would bring massive value. Then Brian Mbeumo. I did believe I would write this name down, but I did. Brian Mbeumo. And the reason that's why I've written down Brian Mbeumo, you can guess it, right? It's goals. Brian Mbeumo is all about goals, and Arsenal now desperately need goals. I don't know how our manager has gone in a press conference and said, I need creativity and I need to increase goals. And then in his backroom meeting with Andre Bata and whoever is working with, he's gone, that is Sesko. Because for me, it is not. But Brian Mbeumo, with his Premier League experience, is just 25. He's gonna be a market opportunity, obviously at 50 million. You go for the goals. You go for the goals. You play him alongside Kai Havertz. Because again, Sesko might not start every single game. So you play him either alongside Kai Havertz or alongside Sesko. Because those two, Sesko and Havertz, are very wasteful. So you're gonna have a player like Mbeumo who's gonna be able to pick up those chances that are dropped by Kai Havertz. Who's gonna be converting those chances that can't be converted by your Shesko or your Havertz. Then Bradley Bacola, but Bacola, I don't know. I just like him, but does he bring the superstar status? Is he that effective? That one you let me know in the comment box below. João Pedro, no question about that. Pedro is very, very effective as a player. Not yet a superstar. Wouldn't bring the superstar status, but for Mikel Arteta, he doesn't want to drop Kai Havertz, right? And with João Pedro, in fact, for me, Arsenal should sign João Pedro over Benjamin Sesko. Honestly, the reason for that is Pedro can effectively play on the flanks. He can effectively be deployed as a winger. And if you don't want to drop Kai Havertz, why don't you just sign João Pedro and then Kai stays in the middle? It's a win-win situation. But João Pedro, for me, I would definitely do that deal for a winger. If he would score goals, he would create chances as well. He's got that ability to win you a game, to win a lot of penalties as well. Ademola Lookman, numbers. It is his numbers that have put him on this list. It's the numbers, right? So I want your thoughts there. Arsenal willing to extend their budget for a winger after going for Shesko. For me, this is going to be one hell of a position we can't get wrong. Hit the like button and I'll speak to you right in the next one.